y'all. I'm Margot Evans.
And I'm Rochelle Truby.
And it's your girl, Edwonda White. And we are Three Black Girls Talking. Three Black Girls Talking is a show that was created from the three of us. We're three friends and we've been knowing each other forever. And we missed each other during the pandemic, so we started Zooming and talking just to keep in touch. And it became this awesome show that you guys keep subscribing to and watching our videos. So thank you so much for doing that. And those of you who haven't subscribed, go look down there and click the bell and subscribe to our channel and tell people about it. So today, we're going to talk about childhood. Like, I met Rochelle when I was in college, and I met Margot after I was already an adult. But a lot of times we don't know about people's childhood. So we're going to talk about it. I'm going to start with Rochelle. Do you realize how important someone's childhood is and how it builds them to be who they are? Can you tell me something in your childhood that was a happy moment, that made you feel proud, that you think has helped you in your life today? We're going to do the good things first.
Okay, so the good things about my childhood is, my parents, honestly, I really didn't know until I realized when I got older, how fortunate I was, because, when you're young and stuff, you're just growing up and you're just living and you don't really think about, how really fortunate you are as a child. So, both my parents, they were hard workers, and they both had good jobs. My mom was a nurse and my dad worked for the county of Los Angeles. And so, me and my family, we would travel. It was just me and my sister. I'm a twin. So me and my twin and my mom and dad, they were young. We would always just go travel. We go to San Diego, go to California City. We would just do little family outings and stuff. And that's a beautiful childhood memory. And I remember when the Cosby Show had came out, and a lot of people of color would say, "Oh, you know what? That show was fake," and they couldn't relate to it. But honestly, I could relate to it because both of my parents were like that. Like they were very successful young Black entrepreneurs, and so I really could relate to the Cosby Show. But my parents, one thing I do really love about my parents, that what they instilled in me, is that we're just supposed to love everybody, not look down on people, because I used to hang around everybody. It didn't matter to me who it was. I didn't go think I was better than anybody or anything. My mom used to always make a joke saying Rochelle gonna marry get with the guy that's broke and don't have no money or something like that, because don't have a job, because it didn't really, all that stuff. I wasn't really a materialistic person, and I'm glad that that's how my parents raised me and instilled in me, just to love people for who they are and so forth. So what about you, Margot?
When I think about my childhood, I know that I was blessed by having my mom and dad in the same, household. A lot of my friends didn't. They were either possibly live with their mother, and then they had to do the father every other weekend situation, and that was like foreign to me. I didn't know, that life. I didn't know that life. What makes me happy about my childhood, my dad was the neighborhood dad. Like, everybody loved my dad. My dad took people out on, not people, us, the neighborhood, out to Magic Mountain and Raging Waters. That's when you can ride in the back of a pickup truck. Put all the kids in the back of the pickup truck, and we used to be on that freeway flying, going to everywhere. And everybody...
Michael, don't forget to mention about your dad at Christmas too, how he used to dress up every year.
Yeah, he dressed up every year as something. He was a character. He was the Grinch for one year. He does Santa Claus now all the time, but he would dress up as different things every year for us and the kids. And I just love that. And my mom my mom has dementia right now, so she's no longer doing the things that she used to do. But she was the Black Martha Stewart. Everything that she did, she was a very great homemaker. She had a job, but she cooked, she cleaned, she sewed, she made things that were creative, and I didn't pick up any of that. I didn't pick up any of those traits from her. My sister did, thank God somebody did. My sister did, but I just enjoyed living in that type of household where my mother and my father just contributed so much to my sister and my growth and who we are and who we turned out to be. Yeah.
Okay. With mine, I would have to say that I grew up in a big family. I'm the youngest of six. And I think that the fact that I was raised in a two-parent household where I actually had a father who wasn't a deadbeat. He had a job and he took care of his responsibilities. And having a father in the home really made a difference in how I saw men and how I should be treated and choosing a good mate, because
Mhm.
a lot of women, they don't know how to pick a good man because honestly they've never seen one. Maybe they don't know their
Mhm.
own father, or their mother keeps making mistakes with this guy and that guy and this guy that don't hang around long enough. So how are they going to determine what a good man is if they've never seen one before? I've seen them before. I have four brothers who were older than me that always protected me and looked out for me. I had a good father that had a good job, that actually loved my mother. I didn't see my mother crying or him running around or whatever. If he did run around, men do what they do, but if he did run around, we didn't know nothing about it. It wasn't messy if that's the case. Nobody
Right.
complained, so ain't no telling what he was doing. But the point is, my mama wasn't never crying or pouring a bottle or nothing. Your daddy ain't this and that. You know how people had, I'm telling you, people got mamas like that
Yeah.
to where they always drunk or high or something. Your daddy ain't nothing. You know what I mean? If I don't forget him, and then the next minute she be back with him or whatever. We
Right.
didn't have none of that. We went to church. My daddy was there on Sunday. He was a deacon and all of that kind of stuff, and kept a job. It wasn't no, oh, we just go to sleep because you hungry. No, we had food. You know what I'm saying? And I think because of that, it made me stronger as a woman to
Mhm.
understand that I could achieve things by seeing my brothers do it first. Or I have a sister too, she's the oldest. And
Mhm.
so by seeing my older brothers and sisters do things, excel in certain things, compete for athletics or speech or forensics and debate, or be competitive in things, that made me see that I could do it too. Okay. So that first round was about the good things. Now, we work with people who deal with a lot of bad things. Okay. There's a book that says everything that you know or everything that you become in life, you learned before you were in kindergarten. I believe that. I believe that you are who you are as that child in kindergarten. So
Mhm.
in kindergarten, are you that person who shares? Or are you the person that breaks the crayons and throws them? Are you the person that is always in a corner quiet? Are you the one who leads and say, come on, everybody, we're going to play marbles? Or are you the one that's always following the one who's saying, let's go see the marbles? You be like, okay, even though you don't like marbles. If you are that person that is a kindergartner, that's who you are as
Mhm.
an adult.
Mhm.
Now, the second round is going to go to Rochelle. Now, what bad things in your childhood that made you feel like either withdrawn or made you feel a certain way as an adult that you remember when you was a child that happened to you and you be like, that's not gonna happen again? Or name some experience that you can relate to in your adult life right now.
Okay. Well, really, honestly, thinking back, I really didn't too much experience bad things in my childhood that really sticks out. I mean, not saying that I lived a perfect childhood, but my childhood was pretty good. I never really experienced that, but I have seen other people, that have had bad childhood, and they always want to revert back to, oh, well, my mom did this and my mom did that. The first thing that a therapist is going to tell you if you ever go to therapy and you mention that, they're going to say you shouldn't let things that happen in your childhood define who you are in your life. Like, whatever happened to your childhood, you're an adult now, and you need to realize it. Yes, it happened, and you do need to talk about it. It's not a problem talking about it. It's not a problem being upset about it, crying or whatever. But now like, oh, my mom did me like this or my mom did me like that. You're an adult now. So, I mean, I hate to use that phrase, get over it, but basically you really do have to get over it and live your life as an adult, and just embrace and life, and make your own changes with your life now, because yes, bad things happen. Like, I have a friend, and I always commend her, because I said, you know what, her mom was on drugs, her dad wasn't around, so she lived her life really going from auntie to uncle's house all her life. But she's a very successful person now. She owns her own house. She has a good job. She's married. Has a nice car. She's a very sweet and kind person. And I always commend her. And I said, you know what? You having your life, your childhood, the way that you have it, most people would have succumbed to that and been like, oh, I'm not going to be anything. I'm not going to be able to move on. I'm not going to be able to do anything. I'm just going to be stuck here because my parents treated me so bad, and so forth. But you turned it around. So those people, they're either going to do two things. They're going to become successful, or they're not going to be successful when they have bad childhood. Because you've heard the story before. A lot of the athletes, they lived in the projects. They come from a one home parent. They had a bad childhood, but they became a superstar athlete, maybe played football, basketball, or maybe even was a scholar, and they moved out of the projects. They got good jobs. They became actors, actresses, scholars, teachers, or whatever the case may be. So it's up to you to decide what your destiny is. Of course, God knows our destiny too, but I'm talking about for the decisions that we have to make for ourselves. We have to stand up and be like, you know what, I'm not going to let the things that happened in my childhood define me. So that's my take on it. Margot, what's your take?
I can't think of anything in my childhood, but what I can think about, what I am going to talk about, is that my dad has two other children, and I didn't find out about that until I was an adult. And the reason why I didn't find out about that is because my mother wanted to protect us as children, when we were children. So she wanted to make sure that she kept us like this. She didn't want us to know anything about it, because she didn't want it to affect our schoolhood. I mean, our schooling and, psychological or anything like that. So she was holding that secret for a long time. And then my dad ended up telling us about it. And, my first thing that I said, I'm happy that my mom did wait. I mean, I'm sure it hurted her heart that she had to hold that in, but I'm glad she did wait, because I was able to, take it in. And my first question was for my mom: are you okay? And as long as my mom is okay, I was fine, because I never missed my dad never missed anything in me or my sister's life. So whatever he did on the side, it never affected what was happening in our household.
Right.
He was there for every holiday. We got everything that we wanted. No, not everything, but he was there. My dad was there, and so I can't, think back to like, when this happened, he wasn't there. Maybe he was over there with the mother kids. Never, never. He was never a void in our life. So as long as my mom was okay, and what I called her like right after, and I asked her, and she said, "No, I'm fine." My dad takes really great care of my mom. That's one thing that he does. He know that he effed up in his situation twice, and
Right.
he's only human. He's only human. Shit happens, and I don't blame him. I don't say oh you're this, you're that. I don't. I love my dad, and so that's the only thing that I can really think of that, like, in my family that, like, really it affected me, because I'm like, well, I'm the oldest still, but my sister's not the baby anymore, so that affected her in a way. She's like, what? I'm not the baby.
What? Okay. Right.
Yeah, and I was wondering too, if I would have found out it was two girls, if I would feel the same way. If I would be like, would I have been upset if it was two girls? Because it's two boys. So I just feel like, okay, that's them over there. Those are boys. Just like whatever. But if
you would have felt way different if it was two girls. You'd have been like, what?
Yeah.
You cheating on me with two daughters? We the baby.
We the baby girls. Like, come on.
read a baby girl.
Right.
He be reading you a story. You be like, I bet you be reading them stories to them too. Like, don't call me baby girl. Well, how I know what you who you talking to?
Right. You talking to me or her?
Exactly. I'm the baby girl over there, Ron. It's like, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Like I said, with the question, I was really like, okay, for me, I say that I became the person that I am based on some of the experiences that happened, and I do agree with Rochelle in terms of you can't live in what happened to you in the past, especially your hurt, your heartache, your pain, and your disappointments.
Yeah.
You have to get beyond that as an adult. You can't blame your parents. Oh, my parents was an alcoholic. Oh, my mama was on crack. Oh, this and this and that. Okay, but you 40 years old now, though.
Right.
You 40 years old.
Okay.
So, oh, I did this. Oh, I beat my kids because I was beaten. Well, there are a lot of people who were beat too, and they don't. So that's not an excuse
Right.
for you. It is unfortunate that this happened. But for me, okay, I feel that the experience that happened with me when I was younger helped me to be more confident. It was a very, very hurtful experience. It seems very trivial now, but in the mind of a child, it was really, okay, I really, really liked this boy, had a crush on this boy, and I really thought he liked me because he thought he always acted like he liked me and was nice to me and everything. And back then, we would have crushes on boys. We had no boyfriend and that. We just liked them and stuff. And we just hoped they treated us nice. And I thought he was the cutest boy ever. And I really liked him. And so I told my friend to write him the note or whatever, or something like that, to write him the note. And my friend was a boy. Okay. So he gave the note to the person and then pass it to another person. See, you can't send a boy to do what we supposed to do, right? So anyway, I've said, do you like me, right?
Right.
I have wrote, because we didn't talk to people, we wrote notes back then.
Right.
So I want to know, do you like me, right? And he gave the thing to another girl and passed it to him. So when he read, do you like me, he thought it was from the other girl. Okay? He thought it was from the girl that gave it to him.
Right.
And he said, no, you ugly. And
Oh my God.
he no, you ugly, right? And I'm not even lying. This is funny right here. Okay. So he passed it, no, you ugly. So she passed it to the girl, passed it to my friend, passed it back to me. And I read it, no, you ugly. When you talk about crying, like the
Oh, poor
crying
baby.
ever. Like it was rejection. Like he said, I'm ugly. Oh my God. It was the worst. Can you imagine? Okay. Can you imagine?
Baby.
Okay, you imagine you in elementary school. Okay, and you really liking somebody. He talk to you every day, say hi to you, everything. You get up the nerve to say, do you like me? And he put, no, you ugly.
You ugly.
So then I was so hurt. I stopped talking to the boy, period. I never saw him. I didn't, I'm ugly, whatever. Later on, like about a month later, he come trying to give me the fruit cup because he knew I liked the little chocolate pudding that came in the little thing, right? So he's trying to tell me, do you want my pudding? I was like, no, I don't want my pudding. I'm ugly, remember? Right? Because I was having an attitude.
Right.
No, don't be giving me, oh, you want to give me some pudding and, I'm ugly, remember? I was like, he's like, you're not ugly, you pretty. And I was like, well, why you say I was ugly? And he was like, what? And I told him, oh, so-and-so gave you the note. And I wrote, do you like me? He said, oh, I thought so-and-so gave it to me. Ugly, right? Okay, so what they taught me was that things are not always as it seems. And you don't need validation from nobody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It hit me even thinking that he thought I was ugly, destroyed me, and made me feel bad.
Right.
Just as good as it made me feel finding out that he didn't think I was ugly. But guess what? As a woman today, I don't let nobody validate my worth. and how I feel about pretty, ugly, fat, skinny, whatever. Because
Right.
I love me. And I
Right.
need you to tell me I'm beautiful. Okay.
Right.
I know I ain't no whoever they think is cute, or Megan Thee Stallion, or whoever, Alicia Keys, or Beyonce, whoever. I ain't trying to be Beyonce.
No.
It ain't. They made me in the factory. I couldn't look like Beyonce. Okay, I had the parents that I had, and I looked the way I look, and
Right.
I'm beautiful inside, and that resonates more than the physical appearance. But the point is that right there let me know in elementary school that you don't need nobody's validation. You are strong, you are beautiful within yourself, and what these little boys or whoever think about if you ugly or cute, and the girl who took the note who he was talking about never even got to feel the hurt or the
Right.
feeling that I heard from me thinking that the boy said I was ugly. You know what I'm saying? And we as women, we take ourselves through all this. We put on our fake eyelashes, we put on our makeup to get rid of our blemishes, and we put our weave or hair or whatever to try to make ourselves feel more accepted or more beautiful or whatever the case may be. And all of it is BS, I'm just telling you.
Yep.
And it comes from how we were set up as the childhood. You know, the princess and the prince charming, and the woman was beautiful. Every story we read was that, and the princess was waiting for the prince to come, and
Right.
he was sleeping beauty. She was asleep and was gonna say sleep if no man didn't come kiss her. You know what I'm saying? What kind of story is that to tell a child?
Right.
I mean, we just, playing around with it, but come on, right? Sleeping Beauty was going to be sleep for the rest of her life. Sleep, okay? But guess what? Sleeping Beauty is woke now. You know what I'm saying? They don't need nobody to kiss her because Sleeping Beauty is already woke.
Okay.
So what's good on that? Okay, now, that round was really good. Now, let's go to the last little round, and the round is, don't you see how some people act, the people that you work with, the people that you meet, some people act real moody and mean and ugly and nasty towards you, and you be like, what is wrong with them? And some of those are little boys who never got no attention on the playground. Some of them are little girls that got teased and got thrown in lockers and stuff like that. And we don't know that they still have that. They feel like, some people are like beautiful in the face, but maybe they used to be the ugly girl, or they used to have a nickname when they was little, maybe they used to smell like pee or something, or something else. Oh, she the pissy girl or whatever. And they have that psychological damage from when they was kids, because kids are mean.
They are.
Yeah, they are.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be pissy girl. You know what I mean? You don't want to be the one that peed on yourself at school for the rest of your life.
Right.
And these are scars that people have. So I want to say, what can you say, Rochelle, that will help people not to play into those insecurities that were given to them? Like me, okay, for me, I was a chubby child. Okay, I was always a chubby child, but I always was confident and funny, and I had big brothers, so nobody teased me about it. Honestly, nobody really even called me fat, because that's why I say chubby, because there's always, she got chubby cheese, or she's a cute little chubby girl, because even though I was overweight as a child, it was always somebody else fatter than me. So the other person was always the fat person, and I was like, oh, the little chubby girl, that's so-and-so sister, or that's so-and-so, oh, don't mess with her, this and that. So I never really felt like, oh my God, I'm not beautiful because I'm not small or skinny or whatever like the other little girls there. It was a bunch of little chubby girls that looked just like me, that was black or dark skin, or however, I was dark skinned, but nobody ever called me, oh, Black Edwonda. I wasn't, it was always people darker than me, they're old Black Anthony or Black so-and-so, because back then we were so ignorant. We didn't know about the truth of beauty in blackness. It was always light skin, dark skin, and Elder Barge name was cute, and then the other dark skinned people wasn't, and it was just messed up when we were younger.
Yeah.
So the thing of it is that these days people had these hang-ups of what happened to them. Were they the pissy girl? Were they the pissy guy, or the poor person that got laughed at because they wore the same shoes when they had nothing to do with it? Their parents were just poor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, what do you say in dealing with these people that have psychological damage from some of the things that happened to them in their childhood, Rochelle?
No, but insecurities, it does really hurt deep because I mean I have insecurities. When I was growing up, I had real bad acne on my skin, and so it caused damage to my skin. So your face is the first thing a person sees. So when they look at you, I mean, I would feel like sometimes I would want to hide because I didn't feel like I was beautiful because of my skin. So eventually I started to get over that. I mean, I still have some insecurities on that, and it does hurt deep because people used to tease me. Like I used to, one time somebody teased me so bad that I went home that day from school and I was crying, and I went to the office and asked if I could go home from school, and the lady felt so bad for me. I didn't tell her what happened, but she knew something happened, and she let me she said you could go ahead and go home for the day. And so those things are deep, and I do try to get over it, but sometimes it hurts, even with the like you were saying about being dark skinned and light skinned. Dark skinned women you would get teased back in the day about being dark, but light skinned women get teased too. I mean, people used to call me name banana and all other little names and so forth, and so you're not black enough and all this other stuff. So you have to kind of try to prove yourself as being black and being a little bit more I'm gonna say quote unquote ghetto, so that you could fit in, because you don't want people to think that you're trying to be white and so forth. So it is some insecurities, but the thing about it is, and you made a very good point, and it helped me. What you just said is you have to learn to love yourself, and realize that you're beautiful inside, and your beautiness is out inside will outshine whatever you look like on the outside. And sometimes, and I needed to hear that, so it's just encouraging words from others that would help us, and us to be even encouraging to other people when we feel down, and to just love yourself. And God made you the way that he made you. And you know what, really honestly, people are more attracted to confidence than they are even to the way your physical beauty.
Mm-hmm.
You could be. Have you guys ever known anybody that wasn't really all that attractive, but had so much confidence that when that person walked into the room with that confidence, that people gravitated to them? And then you're thinking you all fine and fly and stuff like that, and you just walk in the room, but this person that really wasn't all that attractive, they just had that confidence, the way that they walked into the room.
Mm-hmm.
Had their little dress on, their hair done and stuff. They wasn't the beautifulest woman in the bunch, but believe me, a man love a woman that is confident, and they carry themselves with all that confidence. They're not insecure the way that they talk. They joke. If somebody says something negative to them about it, they make a joke about it. They don't go but be down on themselves. Mm-hmm. So that's what we just build confidence within yourself and love yourself, because you're the way that you are, because that's how you're made. But everyone is beautiful, and so with all that confidence, and you just love yourself, it'll outshine everything else, so
That's a good point.
That's what,
it is. It's a good point, and you made a good point with the beauty aspect too. Is that, believe it or not, some of the most beautiful women in the entire world are alone.
Yeah.
And why are they alone? It's because they're so pretty that some people don't even approach them because they feel
Right.
like they would get rejected. So there are women who are average, or maybe even where someone might say they're unattractive. But those women, they have husbands.
Mm-hmm.
Husbands
Yeah.
that love them and take care of them and all this type of stuff. So it's beauty is subjective, with that. So Margot, we were still talking about childhood things. So what could you say to people to help them to deal with either other people's hang-ups from their childhood or even their own?
Mm-hmm.
How can they deal with this in their adult life and not make it an excuse?
Mm-hmm. So, I'm like you, Edwonda. When I was a child, I wasn't a chubby child, I was a fat child. I was the fat one always. I was always tall. I was always the fattest one that was in the group. But guess what? I never got teased. I never got teased. Not that I can remember. Not something that that stuck with me. Because I was always funny. I would always make a joke, and nobody wanted to go against me because they knew that I was going to come harder than anything they could throw at me. So I would make a joke, and I would always keep people laughing. So that's what they seen. They didn't see the fat girl in class. They would tease people and call other fat girls, because they didn't take care of themselves. Or my mom made sure that my sister and myself was always fly. We always had the best clothes.
You have always been fly, Margot. That's for sure.
She didn't want no slouchy. No slouchy fat kids, and she wanted to make sure that we were always looking good. And so we were well taken care of in that aspect. And I knew when the first day of school hit, I was gonna look good, so I didn't care. So that helped me build my confidence in myself. I mean, not to say that I always have been confident as an adult. Because I felt fat at that time, not by somebody telling me. I just felt fat. And I lost some of that confidence that I had as a child because my parents built that up in me. But as an adult, I was like, I'm fat. All my friends was all skinny, and I'm like, well, they were getting a guy and everything. And I'm like, okay, now what? What do I do? But like I was telling you guys, I had started going to that goddess gathering, and one of the exercises that we did, it was to look in the mirror. You have to look in the mirror, and you have to talk to yourself. And I broke down because I never really looked in the mirror. Like I looked in the mirror to do what I had to do, but to actually look in the mirror and look at myself, I never really did until that point. And I sat there and I cried in front of all the women. And it's because I didn't really see myself. And not until I finally saw myself, I was able to build back up that confidence. I had it when I was younger, but I was able to build it back up in myself. So, now that I'm back, I'm that confident person that I was, that my parents had built in me and instilled in me. And I didn't care. I didn't care if a guy didn't like me. That's cool. You just like the guy for me. That's fine. Or girl, didn't like me or whatever. I didn't care because I love myself. I love myself. And that's the point that you have to get to, and not allow childhood things that have happened to you. People tease you or call you names, and it sticks to you. Those things stick in your brain, and you have flashbacks. And I know people that's at work that I know they was probably called names, and they really are crazy. They're crazy right now.
They really are. Some people have been literally tortured.
Yes.
Literally tortured, and not just name calling. I mean, some people have been treated poorly since they were able to go to school up until now.
Yeah.
Some of those people, I'm not even making light of it, are serial killers, and they hurt people or hurt animals and things because they don't know how to make up for all that stuff that was done to them. We have children that were abused and beaten by their stepfathers for no reason.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And you have, rape and molestation and just people just treating them poorly for like 10 to 20 years of their life until they were big enough to fight back.
Right.
And these are the people that we're going to college with. These are the people that we're working with, people that we're meeting, and then we're wondering why our boss is crazy.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? We don't know what their triggers are. Maybe their stepfather, right before their stepfather was about to pop them upside the head, they said hi.
Right.
So we walk in and say hi, and they're, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be funny.
Yeah, it's true.
It is true.
Yeah.
No, people have triggers.
Yeah.
You might come and say, "Can I borrow the stapler?" And somebody just goes crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what did I say?
Right.
Because every time their stepfather came home, they beat him upside the head with the stapler. And how we know that?
Right.
People have stuff
Yeah.
that they're dealing with. So that's the main reason why we were talking about this, is because every person that you meet, they're really that little child.
Right.
Really still that little child. And some were that prissy little girl that was so pretty and everybody did everything for them. And they think that in life it's going to be like that.
Right.
Then you have that one little girl that was a tough ghetto little girl that had to take everything from everybody, you know what I'm saying, or she wasn't gonna have anything. And that's who she is as an adult. I'm gonna take it from you before you take it from me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
you have to look at every person as that little girl or that little boy that
Right.
has some issues with somebody somewhere. So
Mm-hmm.
when you meet that person, be kind and try to figure out what their things are. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how you get along with people, by understanding their hurt, their pain, their triggers, and all those things. Not like you got to be a psychiatrist or something, but I'm saying understand that that little boy and that little girl has been hurt. And now that little boy and that little girl is grown. So
Mm-hmm.
what you gonna do with it? What you gonna do about it? Okay. So on that note, Rochelle's just gonna say bye, thank you, I love you, and then Margot's gonna say bye, thank you, I love you, and I'm gonna say mine now. I love you guys. Love yourself. You're not that little boy, you're not that little girl. And whatever hurt you or whatever things that happened to you in your childhood, it does not define you, just like Rochelle said. And you can get help. And those of you who have problems with crawling out of that box of that little boy and little girl that has you trapped, then seek help, because there's no shame in it. Black people always think that, oh, I don't need no therapist, I ain't crazy. No, you are crazy. And you do need help, and you need to talk to someone else so you can fix it, instead of trying to live in your own pain and wondering why none of your relationships ever work, none of your friendships ever work. Is because you're not able to deal and cope with what happened to you as a child. Okay, go ahead, Rochelle.
Hey, you guys, remember that movie, The Help? What did she tell the little girl? You are kind,
Yeah.
you are beautiful. And what was the third one she told her?
You are
And
important.
you are important. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm going to end off with. You are kind, you are beautiful, and you are important.
Right. And I'm just going to end it on love yourself. Learn to love yourself where you are. If you need that help, like Edwonda said, go get the help. And once you get the help, learn to love yourself. And once you love yourself, nothing can bother you. Nothing can bother you. So that's it.
So learn to connect with the good child, the fun inner child, the one that was innocent, the one that had fun and is happy and loves everybody of all races. Find that good inner child, and then try to heal the one that was hurt, and that one that is angry, and that one that needs help. Try to heal her or heal him and make good friendships out there. So we are three black girls talking, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. And cut.
Three black girls talking. Three black girls talking.